You know what's better than watching heroes win? Witnessing smug, cocky bastards get put to their places. Whether it's villains who think they're untouchable, or geniuses who underestimate the wrong opponent, these are some of the best moments in anime where cocky characters get absolutely destroyed.
どなたなんでしょうか？
私はね、君をさらいに来たんだ。私たちの道具になって、お姉さんのお願い。
Clementine is one of the most despicable villains in Overlord. She's cruel to the core, enjoying torture like it's a game, mocking and taunting her victims while acting like she owns the world. So when she brutally kills the adventurer party called the Swords of Darkness, Clementine was really at her sadistic peak, enjoying every bit of her victim's suffering. But what she didn't know was that they were our MC's friends, and that he was coming for revenge. Her smug attitude doesn't last long as Ainz absolutely dominates her. He shrugs off every single one of her attacks like they're nothing, and then proceeds to crush her to death, literally squeezing the arrogance out of her, while calmly explaining that she never even stood a chance. The look of despair on her face as her ego shatters while losing to a mage in a sword fight is simply satisfying.
では始めるぞ。
まさか、
そんなに暴れるな。お前だってあれを殺すのに時間をかけたんだろう。だから私だってゆっくりやってやるぞ。死の舞踊か。
マイン、無事だったのか。
黙れけど。
何のことだ。
盾の勇者様がお酒に酔った勢いで突然部屋に入ってきて私を押し倒して。
はあ？
If there's ever been a character who had fans begging for karma, it's mine. Manipulative, arrogant, and downright cruel, she spent the early part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero scheming her way through everything, framing Naofumi for sexual assault, trashing his reputation, and mocking him at every turn. But the worst part? She did it all while hiding behind her royal status, pretending to be innocent, convincing the world that she was just a helpless damsel in distress. And that's exactly why it was so satisfying to watch her get exposed in front of everyone. The same kingdom that once bowed to her now saw her for the snake she really was. Watching her go from smug and superior to crawling on her knees, begging for mercy, is easily one of the most satisfying downfalls in anime history.
ナオフミ様、お願い助けて。ナオフミ様、ナオフミ様。
待て。そんな奴らには死刑なんて生ぬるい。散々貶めてきた相手に本気で命乞いをするような面の皮の厚い奴らだ。それだけ厚いとギロチンの刃も通らないかもな。だから俺から提案だ。王はこれからクズ、第一王女はビッチと名前を改めろ。
ビッチですって。
ちなみにマルティには冒険者としてマインという名もあるようです。そちらは？
じゃあビッチの冒険者名はアバズレだ。これから一生その名で生きていくんだ。それが嫌なら死刑にでも何でもなればいい。
借りを返せよ。まずはあんたを型にはめて、次はリーゼントだ。ここは俺が作ったフィールド。お前は俺に触れない限り、ここから外に出られない。ぼーっとしてていいの？始めちゃうよ、鬼ごっこ。
Chitu from Hunter x Hunter is the perfect example of a cocky character who thought he was untouchable. Sure, he had insane speed, so fast he could outrun almost anyone, but that one ability made him unbearably arrogant. He strutted around bragging, taunting hunters, and acting like the world existed just to prove how superior he was. But his ego was bigger than his actual strength, and the anime made sure to turn that arrogance into pure comedy. When he fought Morel, Chitu thought it was going to be an easy win, but the dude got completely shut down, treated like a clueless child who didn't even understand how real battles worked.
気づいたか？始めんじゃねえ。終わってんだ。
煙のロープ。
時間の問題だな。今度はお前がいろいろ試す番だな。無駄だがね。
おかげですっげえ能力手に入っちゃった。おいおい、これ何か分かってる？弓だよ。うかつに寄ってきていいのかよ。ほら。
いいんだよ。お前な、自分の足より遅いもんを能力にしてどうすんだよ。
あ、
そっちの爪も試してみねえか？敗因を教えてやるよ。お前、バカだから。
死ねよ。そうすりゃ俺に触るもクソもねえ。まさか煙、まさか
捕まえた。
いつの間に。
Now that's not where it ends. Chitu goes right back to flaunting his ego and pretending he was hot stuff. But then Silva Zoldyck dropped in and delivered one of the most satisfying instant deletes in the anime.
気分じゃないんでな。
まあまあそう言わずに、俺に見つかったのが運の尽きと思ってさ、実験台になってよ。俺の新技の。俺だって本当に戦いたい相手は別なんだからさ。
で、わしは本命と戦う前の肩慣らしってことか。
ピンポーン。
はあ、自分勝手なやつじゃのう。後ろを気ぃつけた方がええな。
古いね。その手は食わないよ。
すげえ。さすがテルさん。でもちょっとやりすぎなんじゃねえか。
しょうがないだろ。歯向かってきたんだから。こういうバカには徹底的な差を見せつけてやれば、以後は別人のようにへりくだるからね。今の君たちと同じさ。力も他人も、利用できるものは全て利用する。僕は世の中の主役なのだから。
When Teru was first introduced in Mob Psycho 100, he was one of the cockiest characters in the entire series. As the only Esper at his school, he conquered the delinquents and became their shadow leader. Fast forward a bit, and he is flexing hard in a gang war, beating up our MC's clubmates who didn't really even want to fight him, and Mob, being Mob, schools him about how using psychic powers against others is wrong. But this guy couldn't care less. Wanting to prove that he is the better Esper, Teru picks a fight with Mob in order to set the hierarchy straight. At first, our MC refuses to fight back, trying to avoid conflict. However, when Teru went too far, beating him up to the point he lost consciousness, our boy's psychic powers erupt, unleashing all hell, blowing away everything in scene.
よーいどんだぜ。
In Baki, almost every fight ends with some cocky character getting humbled, but one battle takes that humiliation to a whole new level. During a tournament, Gaia completely toys with Sikorsky, and it's friggin' brutal. Sikorsky enters the story hyped as this insanely dangerous powerhouse, fresh off escaping an unbreakable prison. He's full of arrogance, dripping with disrespect, even going so far as to pee on an opponent he'd already beaten. But such arrogance only carries you so far in the world of Baki. Enter Gaia, a man who doesn't waste words, doesn't flex his ego, he just lets his skills do the talking. And when Sikorsky challenges him, he quickly finds himself tangled in a web he can't escape. Gaia uses his surreal ability to blend into the background and takes him down with ruthless efficiency.
暴力の本当の恐怖。メッセージだ。いつでもお前を殺せるというメッセージだ。
俺の負けだ。許してくれ。
さあ、いい加減に吐いちまいな。お前を徹底的に追い込み、地獄に落とす。二度と学校にいられなくしてやる。さあ、そいつの名前を言え。
Next up is this badass beatdown from Classroom of the Elite, where this guy who claims to know no fear gets scared shitless for the first time ever. Ryuin is an A-tier scumbag who thrives on intimidation. He manipulates, bullies, and rules over Class 1C with an iron fist. But when he messes with Ayano Koji's classmate, threatening to plunge her into hell, our MC shows up at the right time and saves her like the badass he was. The cocky bastard threw everything he had, raw power, dirty tricks, even bringing backup. But our MC calmly dismantled the dude like it's child's play. The way he shatters the guy's inflated ego in just a matter of minutes is simply satisfying.
もういいさ、龍炎。お前は恐怖を感じたことがないと言っていたな。
今だけの優越を味わえよ。勝利は目前だぜ。綾野浩二、俺に教えてくれよ。
お前はさっきから何を言ってるんだ？こんなつまらない作業で心は動かない。感情が覗くはずもない。ああ、それだ龍炎。見えたみたいだな。自分の中にも恐怖が存在することが。
ミタちゃん
Haruta is the kind of low-life piece-of-shit villain whose very existence makes your skin crawl. Sadistic to the core, he takes a twisted pleasure in torture, dragging out the suffering, breaking his enemies piece by piece before finally finishing them off. What's more despicable is that he only fights those who are weaker than him, so he can enjoy torturing them in full. That's exactly what happened in the Shibuya arc, where our girls Nita and Nobara were at his mercy. But this time, he wasn't so lucky. Calm, composed, and done with all the nonsense, this salaryman working overtime walks in at the right timing, beats the absolute lights out of Haruta, and wipes the smug out of the evil bastard. The way the villain is left broken and begging for his life, and the way Nanami coldly ignores him and continues to beat him down, is one of the most unforgettable moments in all of Jujutsu Kaisen.
ここに来るまであなたですね。ごめんなさい。
体調格がこの程度とはまったく残念だよ。
Grants from Bleach is arrogance personified. As an Espada, he treats everyone like playthings, mocking and humiliating his opponents with his twisted experiments. He's convinced his intellect makes him untouchable, constantly smirking as he toys with those unlucky enough to face him. But arrogance has a way of setting you up for the most poetic downfall. Because when he goes up against Captain Mayuri, the guy finally meets someone who's just as twisted, but way more smarter. This deranged scientist turns the tables in the most brutal way possible, countering every smug trick Grants dishes out. He then messes with the villain's sense of time, trapping him in a state where he experiences death slowly, stretched out over centuries, turning it into one of the most agonizing and drawn-out punishments in all of anime.
長い。一体いつこの剣は僕の心臓を貫いてくれる。早く殺してくれ。スゴか。
妖精をオベイロン陛下とそう呼べ。
ごめんなさい、今日もの。
かつて誰も成し得なかった人の魂の直接制御という神の技を僕はあと少しで我が物にできる。
すごい。
Oberon is one of the most hated villains in Sword Art Online, and for good reason. He's arrogant, sleazy, and abuses his power inside Alfheim Online to torment Asuna in the vilest ways imaginable. He genuinely believed his status as God in the game made him untouchable. Even when Kirito finally faced him, the guy treated everything like a joke. But the moment Kayaba's system gave Kirito admin control, the tables flipped instantly. Our MC reduced Oberon's so-called godhood to nothing, pinning him down and making him taste real fear for the first time. Seeing the evil douchebag go from cocky tyrant to screaming in terror is peak anime karma.
大将、俺からやっていいか？さっきからあの挑発がチラチラガン飛ばしてきてうぜえんだわ。
ああ、杉下くんラブコールもらっちゃったね。
たく。マジで尺に触る目してんな。
If you've watched Windbreaker, you already know it's packed with cocky punks just waiting to be humbled. One of the best examples is the scene where an overhyped delinquent gets absolutely one-shotted by our MC's rival. In a one-on-one duel, this cheating scumbag tries to trick Sugishita by pretending something happened to the person he admires, landing a cheap shot while his guard's down. But what happens next is pure, unfiltered badassery. It's always so satisfying to watch a villain get all high and mighty, looking down on the protagonist only to get soloed right after. That's exactly what happens during this fight in Sakamoto Days, where this badly designed cyborg gets a taste of our MC's raw power. Being so proud of his weaponized body, this guy really went on and on about why he's the superior being, but our man Sakamoto casually deals with him using nothing but grocery items and his ridiculously overwhelming strength.
武器の性能に頼るのは三流の証だ。お前みたいなやつ、家族に近寄らせたくない。
おいどうした？もう終わりなのか？
助けてほしいですか？恐怖を忘れておやすみなさい。
There are all kinds of rotten characters in Overlord, but only a few are as terrible as this big back who takes pleasure in torturing innocent girls. Using his power and status as a noble, this man enslaves women and tortures them till they break down both mentally and physically. One such girl who went through this horrible fate is Tuare. Left half dead in the streets, she was barely breathing when Sebastian finds and saves her. Later, after learning the truth about the man behind all this, our dude literally walks in through the front door, takes down the douchebag, and delivers pure justice.
殴るのがお好きなのですか？やめろ！いけないので？貴様こんな感じだ！金ならやるから助けてくれ。そうですか。生きる価値がないとはこのことですね。そのまま死んでいきなさい。
And guys, if you liked this video, then I'm pretty sure you'd also be interested in watching this one right here. Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you in the next one.